And welcome to another live stream watch-along reaction. Tonight we're reacting to San Diego FC versus Minnesota United FC 2025 MLS Cup Playoffs Western Conference Semifinals. It's the second game of the West. It's the fourth game of them all. The winner goes on to play the Vancouver Whitecaps. If San Diego wins, they will host the conference final. If Minnesota wins, they're going to Vancouver. We have Miami hosting NYCFC on Saturday afternoon. I might do a double. I said I was going to do Libertadores final. We will make that a double, I'm guessing. We will make Saturday a double that goes from one to another, I guess. We'll see what the full schedule looks like, but either way, and a double review. We'll see. Either way, because the league doesn't, I mean, they do have Hummel now. Used to be McCraw, and now it's Hummel. I'd rather have them. I mean, they make, honestly, I'm not complaining because I think Hummel and Macron make better football kits, and Umbro make actual better football kits than Adidas, Puma, or Nike. So I'm not complaining that it hasn't happened yet. But you would think that they'd like to infuse money into the league. I think we'll have to wait a little bit for that. And honestly, I probably prefer Puma if we get one of the big three. I don't know if I want to see the CPL have an MLS-like Adidas agreement, and I really don't think Nike really cares anymore, so I don't know. I'm good with Hummel and all that. Either way, San Diego FC contra Minnesota United FC en la MLS Cup Playoffs Oeste Conferencia Semifinal. Ganador contra Vancouver. San Diego local contra Vancouver. Minnesota visitar Vancouver. Próximo partido. We will begin. Starting 11s are as follows. For San Diego in goal, we have Pablo, the back four of Ian Pilcher, Christopher McVeigh. We have Manu Dua and Luca Bombino. The midfield three of Anibal Godoy, Yepez Sparkov, Ani Velikari, and the front three of Amal Pellegrino, Corey Baird, and Anders Dreyer. And for Minnesota United, we have Dane St. Clair, the back four, Carlos Harvey. We have Morris Duggan, Michael Boxall, Anthony Markinich. The midfield four of Joaquin Pereira, Will Trapp, Nectarios, Triantis, Robin Lud. And the front two of Bongi Longwan and Kelvin Yaboa for Minnesota. Yes. Yes, I do. Now, I mean, they did beat Miami's ass earlier in the year, so that'll be interesting to watch. But Vancouver will definitely make it. I still think Vancouver makes it. And if San Diego struggles tonight, I'm even more certain. If Minnesota upsets San Diego, I'm very certain. I still think Vancouver's better than both. Now, losing Tristan Blackman's going to be tough, but I still think Vancouver gets through both these teams tonight. I still do. Miami's going to be interesting. I think Vancouver beats NYCFC. Miami will probably be their toughest opponent left. I'd say Miami, San Diego, Minnesota, NYCFC if I had to rank them by toughness for Vancouver. It's my opinion. OFC making statements already. Umbro and Puma Ball deal and shirt sponsor. See, I'm saying Umbro's a good kit provider. Now the CPL got Hummel, which makes Everton's kits. I like that, though. I do. The final conference semifinal tonight. Saturday and Sunday, we're back for conference finals. And on Saturday, seems to me we'll be doing a double stream starting at 3 o'clock, 2:55 Central on Saturday. will be live for the Libertadores final? No. I had them winning the cup the whole time. If that's your question. Favorite team? No. I was wearing a Miami jersey yesterday. It's called I have a jersey collection. See, I don't have a San Diego jersey or a Minnesota jersey, so I went with this. It kind of works. Not really. It kind of works. Either way. Hey, as long as you understand, it's called a jersey collection, and if I have a jersey of a team that's playing and I pick them to win the game, I'll wear their jersey. Now, I'll never wear a CF Montreal jersey. That'll never happen. I will never have a Montreal jersey in my jersey collection, but every other team I say is fair game. Starting 11. Pablo. Has the game started? No. They're doing the 11s and all that. Luca Bombino, Manu Dua, Christopher McVeigh, Ian Pilcher. Of course, when Toronto plays, I'm wearing a Toronto jersey. Ani Valakari, Sverkov, Godoy, even if they're shit, by the way. Pellegrino, Baird, Dreyer. But Toronto's not playing right now, so. I say Flamengo, in my opinion. That's where I'm going with it. Palmeiras, losing Esteval is a bit tough. I mean, they're in the final, but I think Flamengo is going to slightly be the better team. But Dane St. Clair for Minnesota United. Markinich, Dugan, Boxall, Harvey, Longwan, the back five. Pereira, Trapp, Triantis, Lud for Minnesota. Yaboa up top. Oh, it's a 5-4-1. That might work, actually. Are we going to see some more Haram ball like we saw yesterday with the Philadelphia game? I wonder. We could. We could be seeing some Haram ball. Palmeiras been flying as far as I know. Again, it depends. When I buy my Blue Jays playoff stuff, do I go and buy a Raptors jersey, a Morocco jersey, and a Ferrari t-shirt at the same time because I can? If I do that, then. If I don't, it'll be a while. If I buy the Morocco, should I buy a Morocco jersey? I probably should. Knowing how much the Moroccan fans love me, I probably should. While I buy my Blue Jays stuff and buy a Raptors jersey and a Ferrari shirt. Because should I do that? Should I just buy all that very soon on like Black Friday? Yeah, I should. Probably be good, but either way. I was thinking about wearing my polo shirt because the AFCON opening game would be the finale of the season. I sort of want to dress up for that. Not a full suit, but like my polo shirt and stuff. Because it's not a final, but it is the finale of the season. So I didn't fully dress up for last year's finale either. I just put a suit jacket over the Chelsea jersey. Because it was the Shamrock Rovers game, remember? Yeah. So it'll be better than last time. The Chelsea game happened after the Intercontinental Cup final, so either way. Or I could just put the suit jacket over the Morocco jersey if I get it by then. Team's walking out, here we go. I could do that. Palmeiras been flying. 8 straight for the Raptors. Yep. I was watching the game before this, thankfully, because this was so late. It was on I was watching, and I thought they played well. It was shaky for a while, but they got it done. They got it done. 8 straight for the Raptors. Let's go win that NBA Cup. Top 2 in the East. I love it. I'm glad the Raptors are overperforming and the Leafs are underperforming. It's hilarious. I'm a Leafs fan too, but, like at least I could still maybe do some playoff streams in April and May. It's just not the sport I expected it to be when these seasons started. Let's see how good I am at streaming basketball games if the Raptors get to the NBA Cup semifinals. Let's see how good I am at it. I have never streamed a basketball game before. This is going to be weird. This is going to be something. I know the rules, but we're going to see how that goes. It's going to be something. Well, I don't know. It depends on what you get. Either way, 37 points. Yep. Yes, I am. I was going to make those streams after this game's over. So here's what I was trying to do. I came down here, like I ate my lunch, supper. After I came down here to do that, it was leftovers, but I did. Then I made up a top 50 songs list, which you'll see the countdown done fully on Christmas Eve. That's a thing that you're going to enjoy. If you weren't here last year, every Christmas Eve, I do a top 50 songs list, or at least the past couple of years. At least I've put it on YouTube. I stream and I'll tell you my top 50 songs of the year. And then the playlist will be in the description in my the community tab on Spotify, so you can listen to it and save it if you want to. It's up to you. Either way, made the top 50 songs list, made a little Christmas list because I still wanted one. Sent that over, got the NFL pick sheet sent over, and we'll get those printed out in the morning. So it took me like 2 hours to do that. Thought I'd have enough time to make the streams for tomorrow and Wednesday. No, I did not. I'll do that after the game. But long way around, I am. Long way around, I am. Unless I oversleep, I'm doing it. But the stream will be up. I'm going to make sure I don't oversleep. I don't feel that tired, but I either got to power nap this or just stay up completely. Or it's weird. In my new bed, here's the weird thing. In my new bed, I don't have I have straight up sleep stints. I don't wake up. I rarely, maybe once. Even the first night I slept in my bed. And I normally have problems sleeping in a new bed whenever I go to a hotel. This is in my house, of course, but I don't know if this is everybody, but I normally have problems sleeping in a new bed the first night. Not even the first night. I slept like a baby. Hell, even on this I did. Because it flips into a bed. I had to sleep here for the first couple of days here. It's not too firm, but I even slept on here. And I slept like a baby. So, I weirdly don't. Part of me being up, so I'll admit, I always could bet on just having sleep stints and power napping, and I knew how to do it in my old bed. I have no clue how to do it here. I have no clue. Awesome. With that being said, I just sleep like a baby. It's crazy. I've slept. I don't sleep, nap for 2 or 3 hours, wake up, send reels to certain somebodies, or who am I kidding? A certain somebody. You know what I'm referencing. when I see a reel that makes me think of a certain somebody, I send it to them. Then go back to sleep for 2 or 3 hours, wake up. I don't do that here. I don't. So point is, the stream will be up for it. As long as I don't oversleep, you'll see me. I don't know. Happy Independence Day to Suriname. It's 12:05. Happy Independence Day to Suriname. Yes, 37 points. When's the Champs Cup draw? That is December. Shit. Is it December 5th? No, that's the World Cup draw. December 10th, I think. Somewhere around there, December 10th. It's after the MLS Cup final. Like the midweek after the MLS Cup final, but we'll be live for it. The 5th is the World Cup. Yeah, he's good. Texier's wearing 85. Game's about to get going. No. I still believe, oh my God, the SDSU football gridiron pitch is still printed on the football pitch. Oh no. I thought we were done with this, and we're off. And Minnesota kicks it, and it's a throw-in for San Diego. They're going with a straight-off kickoff. Okay. No, I think the Lions will. The Detroit Lions will go to the Super Bowl. I believe it. You know what? I'm gonna say it now. Detroit Lions versus New England Patriots Super Bowl. You heard it here first. Well, do I want the Lions to make it if the Patriots are there? Well, if the Patriots lose, I could still be happy for the Lions. Yeah, I'll go with it. I'm fine with it, actually. Patriots Lions. You heard it here first. December 9th. Okay. I knew it was after the MLS Cup. It's on grass. December 10th, December 9th. Oh, boy. I didn't watch the game. I just knew they lost. Manchester United is, well, they're actually better this year than they were last year. Yeah. San Francisco's beating Carolina 17-3. I'm not surprised. 118. They did. So, but yeah, no, I'm going to go Patriots Lions. Patriots Lions Super Bowl. Well, then again, I won Lions Steelers last year, and I would have still had the same problem. Rooting for the Steelers because of, well, you know. I think Mac Jones or Brock Purdy's back by now. Why'd you think it was going to be close? Oh, wait, Bryce Young's actually playing good again. I forgot. Yeah, no, he's playing good again. I forgot. Oh, speaking of NFL, I will show you my NFL pick sheet on Wednesday night during the Alajuelense versus Chellahu game. Because Thanksgiving Day is 3 NFL games. So you'll see my pick sheet before Thanksgiving morning, if you care. So I'm also not live Thursday. I'm only making a review video, recap prediction video. So, it's not like it's just one game on Thursday night. There's like 3 games through like midday, 3 o'clock, and nighttime. And I can watch them all if I want to because I'm off. Well, besides making the video and the 3 streams for the weekend or all that. You know. And the Egg Bowl's played on Friday morning. Oh, Carolina just scored a touchdown, 17-10. Well, if they scored an extra point, it's 17-10. Okay. Playing forward. Doesn't look like Haram ball yet. Denver won in Memphis. It's a wonder I follow as much as, well, I also read a lot of posts about sports. Like, I know what's going on even if I don't watch the games. Ask the Premier League. But But if only I had like 30 TVs on one wall. You know, if only. If only. Yeah, it's 17-10. The extra point was good. 17-10. San Francisco versus Carolina. It's closer now. Well, it's a one-score game. That's as close as you could get. Well, okay, you could get within 4 points, but it's a one-score game. Playing forward. And that's out for a throw or goal kick for how we doing, Henry? But it's awesome to be able to watch the NBA again and actually watch games because the Toronto Raptors are good. Oh, and the 905 are awesome too. So I can watch the G League again as well. Panthers are going for it, actually. Then why does ESPN say the extra point's good? Was there a penalty on the... Oh, Niners took a silly penalty. Okay, I see what happened. So it's closer. It's like 1 yard instead of 2. Okay, I see. Yeah, okay. Interesting. Header. Cleared away. Goal kick for San Diego to have the ball. It was a goal kick for San Diego earlier. 6 minutes in, they missed it. Of course. Just take the points. Dear, like, I love going for 2, but, like, or going for it on 4th down, but, like, 1 yard's still a question. And they passed the ball. They passed the ball, not ran it. It's the 1 yard line. How about a quarterback sneak? Quarterback power. Jesus. Maybe a swing pass. I don't know. San Diego FC. We got Cobra rooting for San Diego. I picked them to win this match. It'd be good for Vancouver if Minnesota won, but I think Minnesota or Vancouver could beat either of these teams. I really do. I think Vancouver's for real. Of course, we had Vancouver winning on penalties on Friday. We had Miami beating the hell out of Cincinnati on Saturday. Or Saturday, Sunday, Monday. Yeah, today's Monday. Holy Lord, my days are... Either way, Philadelphia, NYCFC beat them by 1 on Sunday evening. Philadelphia got upset. So it's only been the last, or 2 out of the last 14 Shield winners have won the MLS Cup. That being Toronto in 2017. Let me have it. It's the only source of happiness. Well, okay, who am I kidding? I wish those were the days we had. Wait, what? Okay. I don't... The 10-yard line is where the 18-yard box is. Huh? Cross in. Nashville won the Open Cup. No trouble winner this year's the duper off to Cancun. What other trophy did they win? They won the Shield MLS Cup. The conference title doesn't count. They didn't win Leagues Cup. They didn't win CONCACAF. How would they be treble winners? Again, the conference title does not count in the eyes of MLS. Which I do disagree with because we watch teams lift the conference trophy, but those do not count. You a City fan? No. I'm not a fan of any team with a name. Well, my second favorite team is St. Louis City. Yes. But I think you're talking about Man City, right? Or New York City FC. No. My second favorite team is St. Louis City SC, though. They're not much better than my first favorite team. They're not much better than Toronto. Well, no, they were in 2023. They've been just as bad recently. Maybe they shouldn't have fired Bradley Carnell. Guess who won the Supporters' Shield? Bradley Carnell. Firing him seemed like a dumb idea, eh? Oh, okay. I see where you're. Yeah. Okay, I see where you're going with it. Actually, yeah. City, St. Louis City is my second favorite team, and the Cardinals are my second favorite MLB team. And the Blues are my second favorite hockey team. Jays are my first favorite baseball team. TFC is my first favorite MLS team, and the Leafs are my first favorite hockey team. But you were looking at the hat, yeah. You were looking at the hat. Yeah. I was like, wait, yeah, okay. You're a Padres fan? I mean, I wish the Padres would win. I have a soft spot for the Padres. I think a lot of people do. I grew up a big fan of Tony Gwynn. I think Tony Gwynn is the best pure hitter in baseball history. So, if you watched, you didn't, but if you look back and watch my MLB playoff streams when the Jays were making their World Series run, baseball was my first love. And whenever I talk about baseball, you could tell that it was. Or still is. But baseball is my first love when it comes to sports. And when I talk about it, you could tell it is. But yeah, no, Tony Gwynn, I think he's the best pure hitter I've ever seen all time, but especially that I've ever seen. Tony Gwynn, best pure hitter of all time. Then I'd say Ken Griffey Jr., then Ted Williams, then Pete Rose. Actually, no, I think I'd put Pete Rose above Ted Williams, actually. Pete Rose might be a shitty person, but the man could hit. The man is the best. The man could hit, okay? You could say what you want about Pete Rose as a person, whether it's the betting or the other stuff, but the dude could hit. The dude could hit. I can't wait to be there. No, it's Tony Gwynn. But you're a Padres fan? You're like, no, Ted Williams, not Tony Gwynn. Nah, no, you can't. No. That's crazy. That's crazy, man. No, that's crazy. A Padres fan's like, no, Ted Williams is the best hitter of all time, not Tony Gwynn. A Padres fan. A Blue Jays fan is sitting here being like, Tony Gwynn. It's Tony Gwynn. And then a Padres fan's like, nah, it's Ted Williams. I'm like, that's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. That's crazy. Well, okay, there is a connection there. But Mr. Padres, Tony Gwynn, though. So. Toronto Blizzard. The Toronto Blizzard, duh. Not that I was. Well, if I was alive back then, it would have been the Toronto Blizzard. But yeah, no, the Blizzard, I guess. How can you have a favorite team that's defunct? Either way, even the Cosmos are playing forward to San Diego. But yeah, the Blizzard. which I guess that's why it's cool. TFC made a jersey that represented the Blizzard back in 2016. We got Loons fans and San Diego fans here. Yeah, Minnesota always has good jerseys. I'd love their baby blue, powder blue jerseys. Like, I'm glad Adidas at least makes MLS jerseys that are somewhat entertaining now. You know, there was a while where it was just like boring MLS jerseys, or like the color jerseys could be entertaining, but the away jerseys were all white, you know. Now seemed to be more creativity recently. And I wonder if in the World Cup year we're going to see some of the most creative MLS jerseys that they've done in a while. And Toronto's only getting an away kit, so I just realized TFC's getting an away kit, so we're not getting anything truly creative. Yay. Yeah, I'm still going to buy it. I just realized. And that's a foul against Triantis. He fouls Valakari. 16 minutes in, 0-0. Minnesota seems to me they're trying to do the New York City plan. They're trying to do what NYCFC did to Philadelphia, sort of. It's somewhat working. Not as good as it did last night, but one of my two favorite MLS keepers. Honestly. Really? Is that you, Jesse Marsh? Is that you? Oh, Lord. Here's the thing about Dane St. Clair. For some reason, he's amazing when it comes to MLS play. But when he puts on the Canada jersey, my God, he's different. And it's not in a good way. Like, he loses half his talent. It's impossible. I don't understand it, really. I'm not a Minnesota fan, so I'm not so positive to Dane St. Clair. He doesn't do good enough for Canada. If he played as well for Canada as he did for Minnesota, I'd probably like him too. He doesn't, though. And I don't understand why Jesse has such a freaking hard-on for him. It's freaking 10 o'clock. It's fine. It's a turn of phrase. Either way. And that's a foul on Minnesota. I mean, Crepeau is like the opposite. He's amazing when he puts on a Canada shirt, but he's been questionable when he plays for Portland. To the point Portland's letting him walk. I've heard Toronto wants Crepeau, which I'm not going to complain about it, but I hope he plays better in Toronto than he did Portland. Field goal for the 49ers. But it's the opposite. It's like Crepeau's amazing nationally, not so good in MLS. And that's a shot and wide. Goal kick for San Diego. It makes no sense to me. What about a Las Vegas Lights jersey? I'd love to buy one just because Jose Bautista owns the team. Because Jose Bautista is the owner of the Las Vegas Lights. I'd love to buy a Las Vegas Lights jersey with Jose Bautista or Bautista 19 on it. Because Jose Bautista owns the team. And, well, Jose Bautista is a Blue Jays legend. So it'd be like, I grew up rooting for the guy playing for the Toronto Blue Jays, and now he owns a soccer or a football club, and I'm like, might as well buy that jersey with his name on it, you know? Just as like some sort of like tongue-in-cheek thing, you know? Because I don't have a Bautista Blue Jays jersey. I'm not going to buy, well, I may buy a majestic. I could buy a majestic gray, or maybe if I find like a black 2011 Blue Jays jersey with Bautista on it, like on eBay, I would. But I'm not going to put his name on a Nike jersey because that's just stupid. Because I have OCD, but it's about stupid things like that. Like, I'm not going to put, like, I know Scott Rowland played for the Blue Jays. I'm not going to put Scott Rowland's name, if I could, on a Blue Jays jersey of this era because he did not wear a 2012 present Blue Jays jersey, whether it was Majestic or Nike. Putting Bautista's name on a Nike Blue Jays jersey with a swoosh is wrong because he never wore the swoosh on the field. Has to be a Majestic jersey. I did see a Mitchell and Ness batting practice throwback, though, that just has a number 19 on it. I don't have the batting practice jersey from that era. Even if it's Mitchell and Ness, I might have to just buy that. But there's no name on the back. But everybody knows who number 19 is with the Blue Jays, so it doesn't really matter. I guess not. But either way, guess it doesn't matter. I could buy that. How's Boxall playing? Good. None too bad to speak of. If you're a defender, it's better to not speak about them than speak of them. I bet defenders always say, when you speak of me, speak well. I wonder if somebody just caught the Bull Durham reference. Nobody did. But when you don't speak of defenders, that's a good thing. If you can't speak about the defenders, that's a good thing. Normally. Unless they did so well. Normally, if you speak about a defender, that means they screwed up. There's maybe a rare time where it's like, oh, they did so well, I got to speak about them. It's more like you don't speak about a defender, that's a good thing. When you speak of me, speak well. Panamas has been better for Portland. Yeah. Playing forward. Header. Wide. That's out for a goal kick. Okay, that makes sense. It's more cap flexibility than anything. But again, I'm not going. But my point is with the jerseys, I'm not going to put a player's name that is a legend on a jersey they never wore. It makes no sense. Like, or the era they never wore. So, like, header wide. Like, somebody was like, so if I want a Dwayne De Rosario jersey that fits me, I have to find one on eBay. You know what I'm saying? At this point, if I want a Jose Bautista Blue Jays jersey, I either buy the Mitchell and Ness batting practice throwback or see if there's some on eBay. Same with Scott Rowland. Or Tom Brady. I can't put Tom Brady's name on the Patriots rivalries jerseys because he never wore them. I could technically get away with putting Tom Brady's name on the current Patriots home jersey because he technically wore it. There's a couple of differences, but he mostly wore it. But I'd rather buy I'd collect a couple of Tom Brady jerseys. There's no question about it. Some Reebok era Brady jerseys with Super Bowl patches on them. Especially, well, also, when he made those Super Bowls, they wouldn't have fit me anyway. So, you know, there you go. But there's, funnily enough, my favorite Super Bowl logo ever is Super Bowl 42 because I thought it was an awesome looking logo. Would I buy a Brady jersey with a Super Bowl 42 patch on it? Because I love that logo, yes. The meaning behind the jersey, no. But weirdly enough, I think the Super Bowl 42 logo is the best looking Super Bowl logo, or one of the most best looking ones. Funnily enough, it's the one I hate the most. The game itself. Funnily enough, that's the game I hate the most. The game that caused me the most pain. Especially at least gridiron football. I'd still say it's probably up there. Even with all sports, it's got to be top 3. Super Bowl 42. The pain that it gave me. It's got to be up there, top 3. Has to be. Yeah, Super Bowl 42 is it's got to be number 1. 2016 MLS Cup, heartbreak-wise, is probably in that top 3. And Game 7 of the World Series is got to be top 3. Has to be. Ex-Charger fan here. Who do you root for now? So you're one of those Charger fans that can't stand to root for them out there in LA. Understandable. I think I respect people who hate the Rams in St. Louis more than the people who still root for the Rams. So I'm not downing you, because I feel like if I see people wearing LA Rams stuff in St. Louis, I'm like, what the hell is wrong with you? Like, what is wrong with you? I have a couple of friends that I grew up with who are still Rams fans, even since they went to LA. And I'm like, what the hell's wrong with you? Why would you do that? They don't want you. They don't want you as a fan. Why would you do that? LA stole the Rams in the dead of night, and you still want to be a fan of the Rams? That's just no. They should have never left St. Louis. Stan Kroenke is a scumbag who got him here, helped get him here because he's from St. Louis, and then stole him back to LA once he finally got full control, thanks to Georgia Frontier's idiot kids who wanted nothing to do with the Rams. And they only did empty words saying, we're trying to keep the Rams in St. Louis. Look at us trying to build a stadium on the riverfront. And that is going to be open ball, all ball, no penalty. Huh, okay. Seattle. Who are you rooting for in this match, and who will win the MLS Cup? I say San Diego's going. He went down. He didn't get tackled. That was a flop. San Diego wins the match. I say Vancouver wins the cup. I'm sticking with it. Let me see what happens during the conference finals and if I change my tune. But right now I'm sticking with Vancouver winning the cup. Not saying I love that they're going to do it, but I feel like they are. So, okay, let me get this straight. You're a former Charger fan who stopped rooting for the Chargers when they left to LA at the same time the Rams got stolen back to LA. And they play in the same stadium, and you root for the Rams. What? Okay, that makes no sense to me. I get San Diego is only like 30 minutes away from LA. or whatever. But you don't root for the Chargers because they moved to LA. The Rams get stolen back to LA at the exact same time, and you root for the Rams who play in the same exact stadium. When really the Rams used the Chargers to help facilitate the LA steal back. Because it was either them or the Raiders. Like the Chargers were always the second fiddle. They got stolen from San Diego, stolen back because they played a year at LA before they went to San Diego. So as well, they both used to play in LA. Either way, the Chargers got used to facilitate the steal back, and you root for the Rams, which in the end, Stan Kroenke is the main reason, or the NFL owners doing Stan Kroenke's bidding is the main reason the Chargers moved. So you're rooting for the team that technically is the reason why your team moved. Your former team moved. So how does that make any sense? Unless it's just because they're good. The Chargers moved because Kroenke wanted his bidding done, and they did Kroenke's bidding. And Al Davis didn't want to move the Raiders to LA. He wanted to move them to Vegas, which is a whole nother story. But you know, either way, I don't get it. Well, if he did, he would have given him a penalty when Bear dived. If he wanted him to win, he would have given him a penalty when Bear dived. So he didn't do that. So either way, even game so far. Because Stan Kroenke's a piece of shit. Different reasons than why St. Louis hates Kroenke, but it all boils down to the fact Stan Kroenke is a piece of shit. That's all it boils down to. Whether you're an Arsenal fan or you're a Rams fan. It's just different ways of him being a piece of shit. But it all boils down to the fact he's a piece of shit. I still think St. Louis hates Kroenke more, fairly enough. Deservedly so. I don't care, really. I haven't really been thinking about it. Let me be real. Haven't really been thinking about it. Well, that's shocking. Okay, I don't care. I don't care. That'll be a goal kick for Dane St. Clair. It's a flop, you bowl wide. Okay, that makes more sense. So you're basically wanting the LA Rams to be so successful that the Chargers move back to San Diego. Okay, I can understand that. Then again, I was rooting for the Rams to be shitty, so they'd move back to St. Louis, so understandable. Well, okay. It'd be funny. Well, okay, it'd be funny if that happened, but it's not happening. What I was rooting for is when the fire, not the fire itself, but it was sad to see the fires happen. But you remember the Rams played their playoff game outside of LA because of the fires? And when they announced that was going to happen, I was saying, you better play the game in St. Louis. You better play it at the Edward Jones Dome on short notice, because St. Louis fans deserve an actual ending. Like, I wanted Kroenke to either get the shit booed out of him at the old Edward Jones Dome, or St. Louis fans showing they truly, if they got one more chance to root on the St. Louis Rams, that they would do it to prove that St. Louis deserves football. again, the forest fires were sad, but that was not what that was a bad way to term it. I was not rooting for that. But when it was found out that the Rams had to play a playoff game outside of LA as the host team, I was rooting so bad for the Edward Jones Dome to get that Vikings Rams game. I was like, let's give let's give the Rams one last go in St. Louis. Just do it. One last little epilogue. Either Kroenke's going to get the shit boot out of him, he wouldn't show up, or the St. Louis fans would show up and show that they deserve football. And that the Rams should have never moved. That's what I wanted. Again, the forest fires were sad, but I thought there was a possible positive to it for the city of St. Louis. They chose Arizona. Which, funnily enough, guess where the Arizona Cardinals came from? Guess who Arizona stole the Cardinals from? That's another ironic part of it. Guess who the Cardinals got stolen from? You may be too young for this, but have you ever heard the name Bill Bidwill? Have you ever heard the words Big Red? Yeah, the Arizona Cardinals were the St. Louis football Cardinals, playing at the same stadium as the baseball Cardinals. Yes. So, ironically enough, they played in another stadium of a team who also got stolen from St. Louis. Ironically enough. That pissed me off even more. I'm like, really? So we're just going to go to the other stadium that stole a team from St. Louis. Okay, that makes sense. That fits. So. Damn, that sucks. Well, Eli Manning stole a Super Bowl from Brady, but Kroenke stole the Rams, so they're both stealing bastards. Huh. Interesting. Yep, they did. Or the owners did. The owners preferred the Chargers-Rams deal than the Chargers-Raiders or the Rams-Raiders deal. So it was the owners, actually. And then that's when Vegas came around. It was more of the owners than the Davis family, but either way. Who's winning? Nobody. It's tied 0-0. So, yeah. But I said that when, of course, the Rams-Vikings game happened. I said it on stream. I wanted the Rams to play in St. Louis because of the fires when they hosted that game. Like, you're supposed to be the host anyway, right? Like, why is hosting in Arizona a host site? Why is it? Technically, you still have a home in St. Louis that you've deserted for 10 years that at least you could still play games in thanks to somebody who's been squatting in it for a couple, you know? Who's been keeping, or I shouldn't say squat, but at least when they've been squatting, they've been keeping it up, aka the Battle Hawks. Aren't you supposed to be a home team during the playoffs? That was my thought process, But again, the fires in LA were a sad thing to watch. Nobody was rooting for those, just to be clear. But because the Rams got forced out for that playoff game, I was hoping it was St. Louis. To be clear, that's what I meant. What I was rooting for was the Rams playing in St. Louis one last time. That's what I was rooting for. They never did. And they probably never will. Shit, I'd probably find a way to win. I'm going to be honest. And if the Rams and I'll be very clear on this. If the Rams play the Super Bowl and the Chiefs somehow make it, I will wear St. Louis Rams stuff during the Super Bowl. Because I do not want the Chiefs to win a Super Bowl. Again. So if the Rams and Chiefs is the Super Bowl this year, which is still somehow possible, I will wear St. Louis Rams stuff with the ugly blue and gold they wore in the dome. The midnight blue and the millennium gold that they wore in the dome, because that's our colors. Whether it's a Mark Bulger jersey, Steven Jackson, whatever I could find on eBay. The ugly blue and gold they wore in the dome. Kurt Warner, Mark Bulger, Steven Jackson, Danny Amendola, he was a Ram. Wes Welker was for a little bit. That'd be funny. Let's see. Aaron Donald was a St. Louis Ram for a while. Who am I kidding? He's not ever going to be thought of as that, though. Torrey Holt. Isaac Bruce played LA for a year, so no, I'm not doing that. Marshall Faulk. Adam Archuleta. James Laurinaitis. Jeff Wilkins. Sam Bradford? No. Honestly, and if the Ravens somehow make the Super Bowl against the Rams, I would wear St. Louis Rams stuff too, because I don't want the Ravens to win a Super Bowl either. Not even against the Rams. Cross in. Header for Minnesota that's punched away. No, I wouldn't even want to see the Ravens win a Super Bowl against the Rams. No. No, I do not. I would prefer the Rams winning the Super Bowl. I actually would. So that's about it. The Jets are never making a Super Bowl, so there's no reason to even think about that. Let's see. Broncos, I'd root for the Broncos over the Rams. I would do that. Patriots, of course. Steelers, of course. Bengals, I already did that, but still, of course. I just hope I don't piss off. I just hope if it ever happens again, I don't piss off a certain Steelers fan by rooting for the Bengals in the Super Bowl over the Rams. Cleveland, who are we kidding? The Cleveland Browns won't make a Super Bowl either. It depends who their starting quarterback is, though. If the Cleveland Browns make a Super Bowl and Shador's their starting quarterback, I'll root for Cleveland. If it's the other guy, no. And I don't mean Dillon Gabriel. If it's the other guy, no. Rams. If it's Shador, Cleveland. Again, let's hope that doesn't piss off a certain either one. Let's see. Chiefs, of course, Rams. Raiders, they're not going to make a Super Bowl, so who gives a shit? Chargers. Colts. Colts, Rams, Colts. I don't hate the Colts that much. Texans, Houston. Jacksonville over the Rams. Tennessee, they ain't making a damn Super Bowl. Who cares? Well, not after 2000. Bills. Oh, I forgot the Buffalo Bills. I root for Buffalo over the Rams. Buffalo over the Rams. Miami Dolphins, they're not making a Super Bowl, so who cares? Tua's too damn cooked to make a Super Bowl. They fed him to the Wolves. So, yeah. Well, if the Jets can make a Super Bowl, I'd root for the Rams over the Jets. But the two teams that I hate the most out of the AFC who will actually make a Super Bowl, who could make a Super Bowl, Chiefs and Ravens, I'd root for the Rams over. I would wear St. Louis stuff and root for the Rams over because I hate Baltimore and I hate the Chiefs. 1-0, playing forward to San Diego. See. I can't be that behind, can I? 42 minutes. Or 44th minute. Dua. As I said, I think the Patriots-Lions is going to be the Super Bowl. I said what I said. Still 0-0. I said what I said. Dryer with a corner. Header. Patriots fan first. Steelers fan second because I have to be. I happily have to be. Not. I never had a bad. I never hated the Steelers before anyway. I always had a soft spot for them anyway. So it's not like I'm dealing with a Ravens fan. You couldn't freaking. If I was dealing with a Ravens fan, you could not pay me to bandwagon the Ravens. I would be an absolute asshole every week when the Ravens lose. I'd be an absolute troll every week the Ravens lose. You could not pay me. You could not pay me to bandwagon the Chiefs. If I was dealing with a Chiefs fan, you couldn't do it. 4 minutes of stoppage time. You couldn't pay me to bandwagon the Rams unless they're playing one of those two teams. If I was dealing with a Rams fan, LA Rams fan. Or even an idiot St. Louisan who still likes the Rams. It's like sitting in the cuck chair. Why would you even do that? At this point, why would you even do that? Jets. I just feel sorry for them, really, if they were a Jets fan. Who does that? Who does that? Saved. This game goes to penalties. San Diego loses. Dane St. Clair can't save a penalty to save his life. I was talking about NFL, but no, you couldn't pay me to do that either. Well, the CF Montreal, you couldn't pay me to do that. Habs-wise, I never had a problem with the Habs, actually. I don't even feel like that's a rivalry compared to CF Montreal. For my generation, the rivalry is CF Montreal, Toronto FC. Like, hell, even my dad's generation, the rivalry really isn't Habs-Leafs. And what do you know? As soon as the Habs get really good, guess who starts sucking? Just like always, clockwork, the Leafs. Exactly. Like, no, I don't see the Leafs and Habs as a rivalry. It's never been a rivalry in my life. An actual heated rivalry in my life. It hasn't been. I don't see it that way. So I have no problem saying the Habs are a good team or watching them play or anything like that. The hockey rivalry is not a rivalry to me. I think Ottawa-Toronto is more of a rivalry. I think the Battle of Ontario is our real rivalry. I think Boston's more of a rivalry. I think Florida Panthers are more of a rivalry. I hate those teams' guts more than I do the Habs. And I hate the Chicago Blackhawks as much as I do Boston, Florida, and Ottawa because I'm a Blues fan second. I hate the Chicago Blackhawks. I hate them just as much as I do Ottawa, Boston, and Florida. I do, personally. Like, there's like 5 or 6 teams I hate way more. I don't even hate the Habs, but like, I don't see Habs-Leafs as a rivalry. Not like CF Montreal, Toronto FC. I don't see it that way. I don't, personally. Maurice Richard, the GOAT. Yep. Avalanche has the best record in Ryan sleeping on my team. We were talking about the NFL. I think the Avalanche are going to win the Stanley Cup. I do. Right now. The Leafs certainly don't have a freaking chance in hell. 49th minute. Frankly, I could care less. Hockey depresses me right now. See how I talk during the Olympics. The most competitive hockey you might see on this channel next year when I stream hockey is going to be the Olympics with the way the Leafs are going. Oh, and the World Juniors final if Canada makes it. The Ducks. Oh, I can't even do anything but laugh. I can't even do anything but laugh. Free kick for San Diego. I can't do nothing but laugh. Ducks in first right now. Okay, so they're good now. Yeah, they have some good young prospects, but overall their history is just sad. That's what I'm laughing at. The most meaningful thing they've ever done was be part of a Disney movie. Or be named after a Disney movie. Halftime, it's 0-0. Maybe they could change that, but for now, even though they're in first, they got to win a cup before I stop laughing. 0-0, 0-0, middle tiempo. They got to win a cup with this core before I stop laughing. With that being said, it's going to be halftime. Broncos definitely make the playoffs. I would be worried if you don't. Cool. I would be worried if the Broncos don't make the playoffs. Y'all are first in the AFC West and you're 8-2 or whatever. Hold on. San Francisco won. Let me look at the standings before I F off for the half. Let's see. 9-2. If you blow that, even if you don't win the division, if you blow a playoff spot from 9-2 with like 6-7 weeks to go, you actually suck. I would blow it up, actually. I don't care how much positive feel you have with Bo Nix and all they have. If the Broncos miss the playoffs from 9-2 and first in the West and second best team in the AFC completely miss the playoffs, like losing the division's one thing to the Chargers, which I don't think they'll do. If the Broncos miss the playoffs from where they are now completely, blow it up. Blow it up. Fire Sean Payton. Blow it up. Because y'all ain't gonna do anything with that core if you blow the playoffs from where you are. It's not like you're just a game ahead in the AFC West and like a game and a half ahead of a wild card spot. You are far and away second in the AFC, top of your division. There is no way you fall to 8th. It would be impossible if the Broncos fell to 8th. Damn near impossible. Damn near impossible. I wouldn't be screwing around like that, is all I'm saying. They better make the playoffs. They have the second best winning percentage in the AFC, only under the Patriots. I just hope we stay ahead of the Broncos. I think the Patriots can make the Super Bowl as long as they host the AFC title game, because at this point, the Patriots and Broncos looks to me like the actual AFC title game. I joke around and say I hope the Steelers and Patriots is the AFC title game. I joke around with a certain somebody about that. But the actual AFC title game is going to be Patriots Broncos. I just hope it's in Gillette. I do not want to see the Patriots play an AFC title game again at Mile High. I do not want to see it because I know we're going to lose. Whatever, no matter how good we are, we go to Mile High in the playoffs and we die. I don't care who their quarterback is. I don't care if it's Satan Manning. I don't care if it's Bo Nix. I don't care if it's Jake Plummer. Was it Jake Plummer that one time in 2006? I think it was. Was it? I think it was. I think it was. Or was it Kyle Orton? Either way, doesn't matter whoever their quarterback is. If the Patriots go to Mile High, they die. Doesn't matter how good they are, how shaky they are, they die. I do not need an AFC title game in Denver. Hell no. Hell no. Hell no. The Patriots better stay number one in the AFC or just ahead of the Broncos. I know that was before I had a soft spot for the Steelers, but that was before I truly gave a shit. Certainly. I mean, that was an awesome game. It didn't make me sad. Not like if it happened now. But not like when Brian Stork was tipping the snap every single time at Mile High. Remember that game? That made me sad. That devastated me. With that being said, we'll take a short break at the half, talk about the stats, get this one going, sit tight, 0-0 at the half, settle a settle. Very tight game. Let's see what happens. Sit tight, be back. Short break. We're back for the stats of the half. Because it's me. Because it's me. Don't know why I did that. With that being said, hello, McFly. It's me. With that being said, stats at the half. I think he is. And Suzuki will be there too. Yeah. Well, good. More money for the OFC Pro League. It might actually be good then. Why is Saudi helping the OFC? Well, they pay CONCACAF too. Who are we kidding? That's not. Either way. Here we go. Stats half. 79% possession to 21% possession. 6 shots to 4. 0 shots on goal to 2. 361 accurate passes, 90%. 68 accurate passes, 64% pass accuracy. 7 fouls to 6. 4 corners to 1. 6 shots to 4, 4 shots off goal to 1, 0 shots on goal to 2. Have 399 passes to 106, 90% pass accuracy to 64, 9 throws to 8, 0 offside to 0, 0 yellows to 2, 0 reds to 0, 0-0 at the half. 0-0 medio tiempo. Another game of haram ball. San Diego or Minnesota United is using the exact same gameplay as NYCFC did last night, but even more defensive. Right now, we're seeing another game of tough defense. Get your chances on the break, and they've got a couple. They have more shots on goal than San Diego. So they're doing the same gameplay as NYCFC against San Diego, and it's starting to really play out. 45 more minutes and possible extra time if it's still tied. That's going to be amazing. I have to be up early for that damn Defense Force Sabal game, and they're going to do this shit to me. It was already late for the first case, but either way. '13 Confederations Cup when you have the chance. Is that the one where Tahiti got their shit rocked? Was that the one where Tahiti got their shit rocked extremely? Is that the one you're talking about? Yellow card for one of the Minnesota coaches. Oh, Lord. It's a tie game. Tie game, 0-0. Minnesota's defending very well, doing the same thing New York did to Philly yesterday, except they haven't scored yet. San Diego have the bulk of the ball. They haven't had as many shots on goal as Minnesota has against the run of play. So it's a tight game. 1 goal might win it. Also might have extra time. And I have to be live at 3 p.m. tomorrow for Defense Force versus Sabal. So I knew it was going to be late because they're on the West Coast. But they're really going to do this to me? Okay. Lovely. Lovely, 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 lovely. Playing forward. Either way. It sucks being Mr. has a horrible sleep schedule at times. It does. Tomorrow's one of those days. 3 p.m. Central? Kickoff for a third place game? Ay, ay, ay. You hate to see it. If you see giant eye bags under my eyes, don't talk about it. I chose to stay up instead, just completely. Shot saved off the line and cleared away. That was a big chance for Minnesota. They almost got one against the run of play, but it gets saved off the line out for a corner. For Robin Lod. Had the shot, but it gets, what a slide by San Diego to make sure that doesn't go in. Wow. Pablo had no chance there, but Pilcher made an amazing slide to stop Lod from scoring a goal. Out for the corner for, well, throw-in. Long throw-in for Minnesota, but it might as well be the same thing. Top of the box. Boxall. Cross. Oh, nice pickup. Nice steal. Carlos Harvey, the Panamanian. Ball crossed in. Falls down and cleared. Well, because Pilcher slid on the line. Perfect timing. Perfect timing. Perfect timing, eh? Shot wide. Minnesota's knocking at the door. I mean, it's either Robin Lod, Robert Taylor, or Teemu Pukki. Now, is he my favorite Finnish sports person? No. That would be Valtteri Bottas. Valtteri Bottas is my favorite Finnish sports person. Nylander is Swedish. There's a difference. Right, they scored versus Nigeria, though, won the OFC Cup of Nations 2012. They had a player playing for AS Monaco, Marama, Vaihua, Legend Tahiti. Well, that's awesome. At least they scored against Nigeria. That does something. Oh, yeah. Playing forward. Minnesota might just... Is Minnesota doing what New York did last night completely? They might just pull it off. They might just pull this off. But hey, if you have a player on Monaco and you're a country like Tahiti, I mean, that's awesome. Don't jinx it. I'm just saying, are they trying to 50th minute? Yeah, no, it's the first time I said it. Sometimes I butcher names till well, I won't say that. Sometimes I butcher name the first time trying to sound it out. And then somebody's like, it's said like this. I'm like, thank you. It takes a minute. No, I don't. I think most people that I know are fans, or at least have respect for Shedeur Sanders. I don't know any people who hate Shedeur. And I've always been a Shedeur fan. I was a fan of him when he was at Jackson State. As a Mississippi boy, of course, I was happy when Dillon took the job at Jackson State and had Shedeur playing there, and Travis Hunter. They did some good things for Jackson State and the city of Jackson, Mississippi. They did some amazing things for that city. So I was always a Coach Prime guy. I was always a Shedeur guy. I was always a fan of Travis Hunter. I was always a fan of him. Before Colorado, before everybody. Before they became super, well, Dillon was already super famous, but the Dillon show really got truly started, you know? I'll always be a fan of Dillon. I'll always be a fan of Shedeur. I'll always be a fan of Travis Hunter. Always. Always want them to succeed because they helped Jackson, Mississippi succeed. There's a reason why I hate Ted DiBiase, Brett Favre, and Ted DiBiase Jr. There's a reason why. They screwed over the state of Mississippi. You do good things for the state I was born in, I'm gonna like you. I'll defend you to the death. You do horrible things to the state I was born in, like Brett Favre and Ted DiBiase Sr. and Jr. I hate your guts. I don't care if you were an amazing wrestler or a quarterback that I used to idolize and think was better than Aaron Rodgers. You steal from the freaking Mississippi welfare fund, you deserve all the shit you get from it, or the jail. Also, Governor Phil Bryant as well, but either way. So, point is, always will, always have been, always will be a Shador guy. Always have been, always will be a Travis Hunter guy. I was a fan of Dillon before he was a coach, but always will be a Dillon guy. Always will be, always have been, always will be. So, and it's always and forever going to be fuck Brett Favre, fuck Ted DiBiase Sr., and fuck Ted DiBiase Jr., and fuck Governor Phil Bryant. And anybody else who had something to do with that Mississippi welfare scheme. Fuck all of them. But especially those four. Over the top. So, I agree. Dillon is a wonderful father. I hope that one day when I'm a father, I can be as good of a father as Dillon is, or in that level of fatherhood. I hope. I think I will be, but I hope so. I hope so. Good. I agree. It is a shame. Well, I mean, I had no problem with Owen Hart. It sucks that Owen Hart died the way he did. Even if the reason I was on Ted DiBiase's ass, both of them, is because they did shitty things to the state of Mississippi, where they're from. I don't think Owen Hart did shitty things to the state of Mississippi, as far as I know. If he did, honestly, he still don't deserve the way he died. I couldn't even go that far, really. But Owen Hart was a good dude. As far as I know, Owen Hart was a good dude who had an untimely death that didn't deserve to have the death that he did. And Brett might be a freaking, and you want to go there, Brett might be an old crotchety man. That's wide. Shots wide for a goal kick. Bret Hart might be an old grumpy man, but he has his reasons. Bret Hart has his reasons to be an old grumpy man. Losing his brother the way he did, the concussion that took him out of wrestling, and the stroke, thanks to Goldberg in the end. Bret's just an old soul dude anyway. He has his ways about him. Bret has a reason to be old and grumpy. I understand it. Completely. Yeah, I'll have to admit that. I don't think LeBron's the GOAT when it comes to NBA. LeBron's a good player, but he ain't Michael Jordan. But LeBron's a good man. I will admit, 100%, LeBron is a good man. I'm not exactly a fan of him. Honestly, that's another case of the fan base makes me kind of hate the player. And then what he did to the Raptors, that didn't help either. But he's still not Michael Jordan or Kobe. But as a man, LeBron's a good man. LeBron is a good man. I can't lie. I can't hate on LeBron as a man. I can't. I can say he's not Michael Jordan. I could say he doesn't measure up to Kobe Bryant. I could say that he's overrated as a basketball player. Even though he's good, he's overrated. I could say I hated the LeBronto era. I hate how his fans glaze him all the time, but LeBron's a good man. He's a good man. I can say that much. LeBron's a good man. Sadly enough, he's from Akron, Ohio. But that's a good idea. But he's not from Mississippi, he's from Ohio, so. 58th minute. Yeah. Yes. There's a reason why I'm a fan of her. I'm a fan of Lash Legend because she played for Mississippi State. I knew that before everybody else. I remember when she played for State. She was on the 2 teams that made the national title game. I watched her playing for State. I watched her when she was playing for State. I was a fan of her then. I knew she was on State before anybody else did. It's cool to see her make a transition in WWE though. She does she's a natural. She is a natural. She's got natural charisma. She moves well in the ring compared to other giants or other Amazon type women's wrestlers. She learned well, I have to say. Ball crossed in, but she spent a lot of time in that NXT women's division, which is amazing. So understandable, but understandable by all margins. It's understandable. Playing forward. I'm going to say Minnesota. I feel like Minnesota might just steal this one. Unless it goes to penalties. San Diego fans who think San Diego's going to lose on penalties, they ain't seen Dane St. Clair trying to win a penalty shootout. Playing forward. In through, Pellegrino loses the ball. Cleared away. Honestly, I'd like to see it. Bret Hart would just be complaining about shit, though, but I'd like to see it. Man, I'd like to see Bret Hart's reaction about Goldberg and Gunther being Goldberg's retirement match. Bret hates Goldberg so much. Understandably, Goldberg ended Bret's career with a concussion that ended up giving him the stroke. So it's understandable why he does. But he hates Goldberg so much. Understandable. Playing forward. It's understandable. The concussion pretty much led to the stroke for Bret. So, I mean, I understand why. I mean, I'm not going to say I don't think much of Gunther, but I certainly don't want Gunther to be John Cena's final opponent. even if the other opportunity or the other option's Jey Uso. I don't know what I'd hate more, especially if John's going out on his back. I don't know. I don't know. It's going to be Jey or Gunther. I don't know what I'm happier about, or I don't know what I hate more, especially if John goes out on his back. Do I want Gunther? I don't think I want to see a Gunther versus John Cena match. I mean, I will because they're going to go with it, but I don't know if I'm hyped for that per se. I also don't know if I'm hyped for a Jey Uso versus John Cena match. I can accept Gunther putting Cena down in Cena's final match. I can accept that. Because at least Gunther right now is probably the tougher guy, tougher wrestler, and he's younger. If Jey Uso beats John Cena in John Cena's final match, I'm going to flip a table. I'm going to flip the desk in my room. Jey Uso should never pin John Cena. Never. Never. Never, never, ever, 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 never. I will flip the desk in my room if John Cena gets pinned by Jey Uso on December 13th. If John Cena faces Jey and John wins, fine. That's tackled, and that should be cleared by San Diego, and it is. That'll be a throw-in for Minnesota. I can kind of accept John losing to Gunther, even though I'm not hyped to see the match. I think it'll be a plotting match. I can accept it though. If John versus Jey is the match and Jey Uso beats John Cena, I'm not gonna be crying. I'm gonna be fuming. Like, if you want to do a Jey Uso versus John Cena final match, that's the way to have John win and not go out on his back. Who the absolute hell thinks Jey Uso should beat John Cena? Who? Playing forward, Minnesota. Minnesota's getting close, but San Diego's playing some good defense. Playing forward. Excuse me. San Diego escaping by the skin of their teeth, yeah. Yeah, I mean, I think Minnesota's the better team right now, honestly. I think Minnesota's the better team right now. I think San Diego, if they win this game, it's going to be more of, yeah, they've escaped. It's out for Dane St. Clair picks it up. The Toronto Raptors will play the Pacers next NBA Cup game. They've already got to the next round, though, but they could get a better seeding if they beat the Pacers. That's offside. The Charlotte Hornets in Charlotte, November 28th. New York, they play New York, November 30th at Madison Square Garden. They play Portland and Toronto on December 3rd. I want to see how long this win streak gets. Jesus Christ. Very solid defending from Boxall, as you always get. Doesn't surprise me. 67th minute. You normally get that from him. I don't ever really see him put a foot wrong. He's been there for years, but speaking of, just got nutmegged, or some dude just got nutmegged. That was Robin Lod got nutmegged. Okay, there you go. Corner for San Diego. Minnesota United has been playing there since 2017. He played for Vancouver Whitecaps in 2011 and 2012. Went to Wellington Phoenix. Was there for 3 years. Sewelle. Then went back to MLS. South Africa for 2 years and went to Minnesota United. This game feels like a trap game for some reason. I don't think Vancouver will complain about hosting the Western Conference Final at home, just like Miami. Not saying it's feeling like LAFC, Seattle, LA, Western Conference Final, but so you're telling me Eric Ramsey's feeling better than Mikey? I guess so then. He's feeling better than Mikey. Well, I'd say that's one thing he does pretty well. I don't disagree with that. I mean, watching him play, he does claim crosses pretty well, I would say. I would say he claims crosses pretty well. I wouldn't disagree. Maybe. 69th minute. Streets won't forget. Brian Schmetzer feels better than Bob. Streets also won't forget when Bob Bradley gave the absolute dirtiest look to Sebi Salazar. I think people don't, well, I don't know. Man, Streets won't forget Sebi Salazar got a death stare from Bob Bradley. The Streets won't forget the Bob Bradley death stare to Sebi Salazar. You know what's bad? Whenever Sebi pops back up on Football Americas, I'm happy when he does. I'm not going to lie. I'm very happy when he pops back up on there. I mean, the hosts now are solid. Hell, looks like it's going to penalties. Well, you got extra time first. I think Minnesota scores for the 90th minute. I'm going to call it. But honestly, I wonder what happened to, when it comes to Football Americas, I wonder what happened to Christina Alexander. I wonder what happened to her. She hasn't shown up in a while. Well, I missed a good couple episodes, though. That is true, but it seems more like it's Alexis Nunez at this point. They're good hosts, but I won't lie. I do kind of miss Sebi Salazar in Football Americas, and I'm glad he shows up every so often. Still, I'm glad he shows up. It feels right when he does. I'm not going to lie. It sucks because Christina and Alexis Nunez are actually good hosts. They know what they're talking about. Hurt can't destroy them like he does Sebi. That's the fun. Like, that's the fun part about Football Americas, you know? When Sebi gets destroyed by Herc. Even funnier when Mauricio Pedrosa destroys him. Or Alejandro Moreno destroys him. That's even funnier. Nobody's getting destroyed in a debate now. That's the sad part. Like what made the show, and San Diego scores. 1-0 for San Diego. They finally break through. Anders Dreyer scores. What do you know? Well, goal for San Diego. Anders Dreyer scores. 1-0, 1-0. What a shot. Yeah, I think Vancouver could beat San Diego. This is about the game where I'm like, yeah, I think they can. That is the real MVP. Over the top. I'm not going to lie. Can't put that on Dane St. Clair. Off his hands and in. You sure about that? Corey Baird plays it back to Anders Dreyer, and boom. Assist from Corey Baird. Amazing back heel. Off the hands of Dane St. Clair and in. Yeah, get yourself out of that Genjutsu. Hey, get yourself out of that Genjutsu. Yeah, but I think Vancouver's better now than they were. I got to see the time where you beat them. It's 1-0. What a play by Corey Baird. What an assist. 72nd minute. 1-0. 1-0. It's better for me if this game doesn't go to extra time, so I'm not complaining. I did pick San Diego to win, though. Let's see when those Vancouver games were. Because that's what really matters. 4 straight Portland games, and they won 3 and drew 1 and all that. But that's not what I'm talking about here. Vancouver Whitecaps. It was all before Sun. Yeah. You didn't play him with Human Sun. You did not. Hold on. You drew Vancouver July 19th. You beat them 25th of June. They were swooning then. And you were on the road, but they were heavily swooning after the Champs Cup final. And then you played them. Draw. Draw. Win. No, you only played them twice. You drew them and you beat them all before Sun came in. You only played them twice. Yeah, there's no way you would have played them 3 times. This ain't the old MLS schedule. You're about to play them a 3rd time. But they were both before Mueller. Oh, my bad. They're before Mueller. My bad. I'm still so shocked that Sun was the reason why. Mueller. My bad. Before Mueller. My bad. Sun played Mueller and Sun lost. That's what I was thinking of. Mueller. Yeah. I mean, yeah, what can you do? Fair enough. Fair enough. But, yeah. Yeah, both those games were before Thomas Mueller, and when you played Vancouver, they were swooning, especially in June when you beat them. San Diego's going on the road, so who knows? But again, you haven't played the best version of Vancouver, and frankly, that was either early in the season, pre-Champions Cup final, or right now, and I'm leaning towards more right now. You haven't played the best Vancouver yet, but you're about to. And you're hosting them, by the way. And by the way, you drew at home against Vancouver. So you beat them on the road. San Diego's coming to Vancouver. Chucky Lozano coming on. He's on the bench. Damn, that's crazy. Anibal Godoy's coming off hurt, 77th minute. Damn, that's crazy. Chucky Lozano on the bench. It's crazy. So I don't know. I'm just saying. We need one more goal to win this game, end this game. Or you could just win 1-0. Home, 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 away, away, home. Ingvartsen coming on as well. The Vegas Raiders are hot garbage. I'm a Raiders fan. It sucks to be a Raiders fan. They always were. So, Luca De La Torre on for Godoy. Pellegrino off for Chucky Lozano. Okay, that makes more sense. Ingvartsen on for Corey Baird. 79th minute. Yeah, they're trash. I don't disagree. Can San Diego beat Toluca right now? No. No, I think Toluca's right now is the best team in CONCACAF. Raiders haven't been good since they had Jerry Rice. Holy. Yeah, they haven't been good since they had Jerry Rice and Randy Moss on the same team. But I'm gonna say it. Randy Moss is the GOAT wide receiver over Jerry Rice. Randy Moss is the GOAT, in my opinion. Randy Moss is the GOAT. Shot and cleared away. I've always said that. Randy Moss is the GOAT wide receiver. Then it's Jerry Rice. Hassani Dotson coming on. Yeah, Jerry Rice might have the rings. Randy Moss doesn't because he played for the Minnesota Vikings, a okay Oakland Raiders team, and then got a Super Bowl stolen from him by Eli Manning. He still only had one ring to like Jerry Rice is like, shit. 4? Wait, he might have more than Joe Montana, actually. Was he there when Steve Young won it? He might have 5. Shit. Either way, yeah, Randy Moss will only have 1 to Jerry Rice's 5, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. In my opinion, that doesn't mean anything. Ooh! Bilal Halbouni suffered an ACL injury in their last playoff game. Damn. Playing forward. Moss, Rice, T.O. Ochocinco, Megatron. Yeah, I think that's a good ranking. Yeah. What about Julian Edelman, though? What about Julian Edelman, though? I guess what? Julian Edelman's top 10 with Hines Ward and Steve Largent and all. Yeah, okay. 81st minute. No. Probably not. Unless there's fan fest inside cities that don't have games. Hope the Chiefs don't make the playoffs. I think we all feel that way. But again, if the Ravens or the Chiefs make the Super Bowl after starting so shittily, Chucky Lozano brings the ball down and they still make the Super Bowl and they play the Rams, I will wear St. Louis Rams stuff during the Super Bowl. And I'll root for the Rams because I'm not rooting for the Ravens or Chiefs to win the Super Bowl. You're out of your mind. You're out of your mind. See, that's why it's so... I may hate the Ravens more than Steelers fans, honestly. And I always have, by the way. I hated the Ravens when Joe Flacco was there. I hate the Ravens with a passion, even when Joe Flacco was there. It's not a Lamar era thing. Just to be clear, if you're wondering. It's the same one as it's been with a different color set. It's okay. It's better than it all being silver. Or mostly silver. I've liked the last couple of years of Super Bowl logos, but it's about the same level considering it's just a different color set and an extra number. Or, well, actually less numbers, but either way. No, I mean, the Patriots-Ravens during, like, the early 2010s was a real rivalry. Like, that shit was deep. That Patriots-Ravens rivalry in the mid-2010s was deep. Like, I hate the Ravens' guts. Still do. I haven't gotten over it. And we beat their ass most of the time, but I still haven't gotten over it. I still haven't gotten over it. Good for me because I happily have to bandwagon the Steelers as my second favorite team. So you know what? It all worked out. But I have a funny feeling I might hate the Ravens more than a certain somebody. Yeah, the thing is there's like 30 colors in that logo, so you can't really do the color thing with the Super Bowl, that color theory. Those 6 Chargers were goated. Who beat them in the playoffs? Remind me? Oh, yeah, the Patriots did. Oh, yeah, the Patriots beat them in the playoffs. What do you mean, goated? That was a good team, but still. Oh, yeah. Yeah, didn't the Patriots beat the shit out of that goated team, though? Didn't they, though? Didn't they? Wait. How could you be goated when you lose in the AFC divisional round at home? How? Mind you. Okay. I mean, yeah, that was a good team, but not as good as the Patriots. Devin Hester is my favorite wide receiver, but as a kickoff returner. Well, yeah, but he was more of a kickoff returner. Like, yeah, I mean, in practice he was a wide receiver, but he was about as much of a wide receiver as Matthew Slater was. Maybe a little bit more. In practice. Yeah, so yeah, my favorite wide receiver was Matthew Slater, but he played gunner on the punt team for the Patriots. It's like me saying that, but I mean, I was a fan of Matthew Slater. Everybody was because he's a good dude, but you know. That's like saying Matthew Slater. That's like me saying Matthew Slater was my favorite wide receiver because he was a gunner on the punt team. Like, yeah, on paper he was a wide receiver, but all he did was gun down punts. Okay. No, he never even really returned punts either. No. 87th minute, no. So. Here comes Minnesota. Shot blocked away. Shot cleared. Or ball cleared. Playing forward. Header. Okay. 06 LaDainian Tomlinson was great. I agree. I'm not disagreeing. LaDainian Tomlinson is an amazing player. He's an amazing player. He's an amazing player. '88th minute. Cross in, saved. 89th minute. Playing forward. Minnesota. Playing forward. '89th minute. Header. Cross in, saved. How much stoppage time? It's 1-0. 1-0. They always give San Diego FC 10 plus extra minutes, and it is 4 minutes of stoppage time. Complaining about what? Oof. Four minutes of stoppage time. 4 minutes away from going to the Western Conference Final and hosting the Vancouver Whitecaps next weekend. Pablo's okay. Playing forward. 92 minutes. This will be a goal kick. '92 minutes. Saved. 93rd minute. I think only once since the semis. 2 more games. Conference semifinal, conference final, MLS Cup final. You win the conference final, you go to the MLS Cup final. So to win the cup, you have to play 2 more games and win 2 more games. No matter how you do that. So 3 more games this MLS season. 2 of them will be played next weekend, Saturday and Sunday. Maybe both on Saturday, I'm not sure. And 1 will be played Saturday the 6th. 3 more to go. Conference final, East, West, MLS Cup. Then we'll have a full regular to win it all. 30 seconds to go. Yeah, and you possibly can. You're 2 games away and playing 2 of the Final 4 while you're being 1 and beating 2 of the other 3 of the Final 4. And Philadelphia's not around, so that's something. And this will be a goal kick, 94th minute. When the ref calls time, the game will be over unless Minnesota scores in the next seconds. Playing forward saved. Be a goal kick for San Diego, and it's full time. San Diego FC are moving on to the conference final, 1-0 on the night. 1-0 esta noche. San Diego avanzar Oeste Conferencia Final contra Vancouver Whitecaps. San Diego local contra Vancouver. San Diego moves on to play the Vancouver Whitecaps next week, or this upcoming weekend. It's going to be this week, but on the weekend, Thanksgiving weekend, American Thanksgiving weekend. San Diego hosts the Vancouver Whitecaps. 1v2 in the West playing each other for the MLS Cup. Eastern, we got Miami, number 3, hosting number 4, NYCFC in the East. Saturday. See what times those games are, but make sure that's correct. But Miami, we might have a double stream, double review on Saturday, at least a double stream. If they play both Western games or both conference games on Saturday, well, then double live for the West, review the West. But with that being said, we'll go and see how this goes. With that being said, San Diego moves on. If you like this stream, like it, share, subscribe. You know what it is. Tell your friends, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, hit that bell notification once subscribed. Since chats on live streams, comment on this video, put this in playlist, share with friends and family, all that great stuff. I will see you within the hour for the review of this match. Some team lower, San Diego, will go to the round of 16 through winning the MLS Cup, and their first round play, their play-in round, prelim round, first round berth will go to a team, the next highest team in the Supporter Shield rankings that aren't in the tournament. But San Diego would play through the round of 16. They would not have to play the preliminary round thanks to winning the cup. With that being said, I'll see you later. I'm Ron and I'm out. Peace. See ya.